God damn it. I gotta wait for the beat to start over. Shit. That's how you know you're rusty. And I'm keeping all of this shit. I'm keeping everything. Just to show motherfuckers like, yo, this is for real, for real. We welcome him back in this bitch. All right, so all right, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. Back again for the first time. Because you're going to ignore that first part that you just heard for the first time. It feels good to be back, baby. It feels good to be back. Yeah. All right. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Greetings and salutations, people. How have you been? Huh? Have you missed me? How's your mama? How's your grandmama? Because a grandmama nowadays is about 55. I'm at that age where I can have the grandmama or the mama. And depending on how fast the daughter is, I can have a whole family tree. Grandmama 55, daughter 35. No, grandmama 55. The mother is 35. And the youngest is like 20. And I have a whole family tree. Anyway, greetings and salutations, people.
I got a question.
What's up?
How you just skipping the aunties, the rich aunties? You skipping the whole part of the
Man, listen,
situation
because
there.
rich aunties is cuddling up to these motherfuckers that's on their bullshits. Like rich aunties is talking to the either the young niggas with the big dicks that fuck 55 pumps a second, or the old niggas that's got like the sugar baby money, and I'm not competing with them anyway. So it's the aunties they got to find me. Rich aunties ain't looking for a motherfucker like me. So I am of the ilk of rock with who like you, not with who you like. So grandmothers I'm a hit, mamas I'm a hit. I don't know. A young girl called me Unc a couple of days ago. It kind of fucked up my head in a major way. And yeah, I realized that niggas almost 40. And there
Yeah,
is,
you right there. Like
yeah, right on the cusp. Right on the cusp. This year I will be 30 fucking 9. That is wicked, bro. I gotta do something big for the big 4-0.
come on, heavy, bring it in the way you're supposed to. The four is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful
I
thing.
think I'm gonna bring it in in Jamaica at hedonism. I'm gonna bring in 40. My body just out there for the world to see. Balls, back, booty cheeks, everything. Just all of me out there. And I'm okay with it because that's gonna be
Your midlife
my
crisis.
fuck you. No, that's gonna be my welcome to, my welcome to the new, better version of me. No body dysmorphia, no looking in the mirror and not liking what I see. Just pure, authentic, genuine, raw, uncut. This is me. And that's gonna be with another year of working on myself. So I got a goal in mind actually. My goal is by the time my brothers and I have every year we have the brothers' birthday cruise because of course my birthday and my twin brother's birthday is on September 3rd. I got an older brother, his birthday is on August 28th, and a younger brother whose birthday is on August 29th. And then the oldest, his birthday is on like October 8th. So we try to plan a cruise in between all of our birthdays. And this is our second annual one that's coming up this year. And I was like, you know what? I really want to, do it with a bang. So because last year I was good, but I was feeling myself, but I wasn't feeling myself to the degree of what I felt comfortable in looking at. So my goal, and I'm saying it here for the first time, is my goal is to drop a clean 95 pounds in 4 months. So
Mm,
yeah, so
that
heavy,
sounds
heavy
like
won't be
clean
heavy.
eating. That sounds like some clean eating and some heavy gymming.
Yeah, so and the beautiful part of that is The clean eating, essentially, all I eat is one meal a day anyway. And if I can just get through the family hurdles of, my lady not ordering some dumb shit, like, hey, I got pizza and French fries. Like, nigga, you know what I'm trying to do. Stop it. Um, the one thing that I eat a day is have this huge big salad with the Brussels sprouts, lettuce, kale, tomatoes, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and I use chicken breast because I want to say in about like a week or two, on my decline of weight coming down, I might have to start introducing creatine into my diet, largely in part because I don't want to be skinny. I've seen how skinny men are perceived in the world. I've seen how skinny men get punked in the world, and there's nothing about me that would look good skinny. I've been big my whole life. I'm trying to keep this mass without the weight. So at some point, I may have to introduce creatine. I heard it does wonders with the body, and it's a natural thing, so it'll kind of flow nicely. So that'll work. But
Yeah,
if
so
I
creatine does usually help restructure the body mass, so it's not you dropping all of the weight. It just kind of helps goes where it needs to go.
And that's what I need. I need it to stay in the arms and the chest and the shoulders. That's it.
You got it good because us ladies when we try to call ourselves getting weight together and getting it worked out, it hits the ass, the thighs, and the breasts. Like what the
All the
hell?
spots that men love to see. And by men, I mean black men, because some white dudes are like,
Mm.
oh, her butt's so big. Like, nigga, what the fuck? What do you mean? You sound. Because
Gay.
I ain't never met a motherfucker on some shit like her butt sound. It's too big. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't
Listen,
know. So I guess some white guys don't like it. So it is what it is.
when you
But
gotta jump to get in jeans, you understand.
that's what
So
Beyonce say, right? I
yeah,
gotta jump to get in these things. So
because for a hot minute growing up, I was a skinny little thing.
I
Barely
remember
a
back in
barely
the
a
time when
size
I had
eight.
when I had the crush on you, when you was working at that radio station. I was like, yo, she can get it. But of course, in all of her professionalism, Miss B looked at me and
Denied.
gave me no play. But it's cool. It's cool. No worries.
Kept life the way it needed to be, kept professionalism where it
Yeah,
needed to
yeah, yeah.
be.
Professionalism. You trying to
You
tell
weren't
an
ready.
18 and 19-year-old boy that's raging with hormones, yeah, keep it professional. Nigga, I am tired of my dick rubbing against my jeans when I talk to you on the phone. I need some sweet release.
Especially when you used to catch me on like, the in between talk sessions, so the voice was one way and
Yeah,
it's just like
man.
OMG.
Yeah, man. But I still haven't even done the proper intro. Greetings and salutations, people. We've been talking, running our miles. Welcome back to the Heavy Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, uh, Heavy Mack, and I am joined by, Missy B. Missy, say what's up to the people.
What's good, my peoples?
And Missy has been on my head, largely in part because, again, we've been dreaming of working together and being in this communication space, not so much for the clicks, not so much for the fame, but just because we have a natural desire to want to do this thing of communication and broadcasting. And we did one show together, great show, and immediately, without question, because a lot of people have been asking, where you been? Where have you been? What have you been doing? I'm gonna go ahead and fill y'all in. So, as you know, sometime and sometime last year in November, people went outside, they touched some grass, they had a milkshake, they took a drive, and they found themselves in a place where they have something called voting stations, voting booths, election places where you can go and cast your ballot for the next leader of the free world. And in that time, there was a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of heartache, headache, crying, tears, joys, all of this stuff. And Donald Trump won the presidency, which again, he's been president before. He president again. Maybe he'll try to turn it into a goddamn kingdomship and never leave. I don't know. That's tomorrow's problem.
We just trying to figure out how to make today work.
Exactly. So during that time period, I realized that in the industry that I was in and what the things that he was talking about, because unlike some of the people, I like to read. I enjoy it. It is very therapeutic. And I stumbled across something called Project 2025. And in Project 2025, he went into grave detail about tariffs and charging companies. And now I'm one of the people, I'm not the smartest person in the world, not even remotely close. But I understand that if you're putting tariffs on countries that we purchase from, because America doesn't really put out much. Like we're the only products we build is people. Like we don't really sell things here out to
We
the
buy
masses. We
everything.
buy everything. We are the number one fucking consumers in the goddamn world. Like that's just what we do. We buy
We know how to spend
everything.
money.
That's what we spend it like it's going out of style. So when you say you want to put tariffs on things, especially a country like China who makes everything
Everything.
in the career field that I work in is trucking, logistics. Now, trucking keeps this goddamn thing called America afloat because you got people that's getting stuff from the ports and they take it from the ports, they put it on a truck, it goes from a place on a truck to a distribution center or it goes to a store. It's 18 wheelers up and through the whole goddamn country. And once I saw on January 20th, when he took office, the very first day he was off to the races of scribbling that pen with tariff this,
That
executive order
damn
that,
pen
we
was
gonna do
all
this.
over the
I
place.
mean,
Yep.
going crazy. Yo, we canceling this, we doing that. All right, cool. Now, being somebody that is responsible for, I'm responsible for two people. I'm responsible for my lady and my daughter. They're my responsibility. And in them being a part of being my responsibility, that means that their livelihood is my responsibility. Now, in trucking, there's several things you can do, but I am not, I am young, I am a man, but I am not a young man. A lot of things that make a good deal of money involve you pretty much breaking your body to the point of no return. And that might be cool for some people, but I have a young daughter. And in having a young daughter, I want to be able to play with her and laugh with her and do all the things. So it got me to thinking, well, I don't know how the trucking industry is going to change. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. And then within a matter of a month, they got reports about the ports seeing less and less containers, less and less cargo ships, less things coming in. And I'm like, all right, cool. I gotta make a move. I gotta make a move. I need to have something that's stable. And the company that I was working for, it was contracting based, so money was good, but it didn't have insurance. Now, because a part of the Project 2025, he wants to gut Medicaid and Medicare and other means of health insurance. Even if the Obamacare, they want to gut that and just replace it with a more of a privatized approach.
Privatized.
Yeah, privatized approach, so they can literally, literally charge you for being sick. They can bankrupt you for needing help and needing aid. And I'm not, again, I'm responsible for people. So I wasn't going to risk it. So I started looking into things that scream security. I needed something that was recession proof, AI proof, Trump proof, tariff proof, president proof, stupidity proof. I needed something that was that. So I was touching some stuff, looking at some stuff, typing some stuff, and something came across my line. Now, I won't go into grave detail of what it is, but it is in the career of law enforcement. Now, for those who know me, they know I've been a cop before. Um, I've been in law enforcement 3 different times, 2 different states. And I saw it and I'm like, I wanted to do this back in 2017, but there was one of the government departments that says, yo, you got to have a bachelor's to go with in criminal justice to be a part of this. You can't just have a bachelor's in any old thing. You got to have something that shows that you're dedicated and you're about the growth and the movement of law enforcement. So I didn't have a poli sci. I didn't have a bachelor's in political science. I didn't have none of that. So when I looked at it this time around, they said, "Yo, all bachelors accepted." Word, really?
Game on.
So I put it in, and for those who don't know, one of the most detailed background checks are the military,
And law
um,
enforcement.
law enforcement, lawyers, depending on how
Doctors.
good you are, doctors. Depending on because if you good, then they looking, but they ain't looking too hard. Because they looking at you as a means of, well, if he's out here replacing sternums and spines, he might have killed 14 people, but he can make the hospital a lot of money before we face lawsuits and whatever, whatever. So the part of the background to detail. Now, I am what you call a person that speaks my mind, and I don't feel you should be punished for verbalizing a thought, view, or perspective that is yours, or just having a conversation about things that you don't fully understand. But unfortunately, cancel culture, as it pertains to people and their emotions, is at an all-time high. People feel the need that all of their voices have to be heard, all of their concerns have to be heard. Everything has to be put on Front Street for them to feel heard and seen. And most people look for ways to be triggered. They look for ways to be upset. They look for ways to be mad. And I'm not mad at it. I just don't understand it. So I thought it not robbery to say, I really want this for myself. Um, I really want it for my family from a secure standpoint. I know what comes with it. I know how to do it. I know how to move with it. And on top of that, it kind of promotes a level of stability that I haven't had in a very long time. I haven't had it where my weekends and my holidays belong to me or my family. I haven't had it to where I don't have to worry about timing something just right because maybe my lady's out of town, but I had to take a whole day off because of my daughter's daycare. But if my days start at 3 in the morning, I got to get her to daycare by 7. Now I've lost 4 hours, and the 4 hours on my work day, I got to leave early. I don't have to worry about none of that. It's all falling into play of like, yo, this is a family design organization that literally gives you the flexibility to be present, to have time for yourself. You can put the job down and pick it up when you come back. So when I saw that, I jumped at the opportunity of it. And it was a timely, oh so timely process because we've been gone. But this prior week, well, actually last week, or was it this week? I can't remember. Um, I called Missy and I was like, "Hey, I'm feeling antsy. I'm feeling like I can't really breathe, and I think it's because I need to create." So I said, "Yo, come hella hot water, whatever it is. Yo, Friday night, May 30th, we recording. It is what it is, man. Like we gonna do this." Missy being a true team player was like, "Yo, bet, let's get it." And Thursday, I got the phone call. I got the email that they had finalized everything, and I should be getting a phone call with a start date coming up soon. So I'm excited about that. So round of applause for me. Thank you, thank you, thank
So
you.
us being faith based people,
Right.
he had been talking about getting started ever so quickly and being one of his cheerleaders since I don't know when.
Hmm.
I kind of asked questions, with him being the married one with the young child, and I was like, I kind of work in an environment where I can speak my mind as long as I put some disclaimers ahead of it. Are you really sure you want to do it? So
Hmm.
when he started getting antsy, I was like, all right, we can roll with it. So I always believe everything happens for a reason. Um, and things kind of worked out because I've been moving from Alabama to Georgia. So the small break did give us a time for me
Yeah,
to
yeah. Congrats
get
on
settled
that.
in.
Yeah.
So it all worked out the way it needed to be. But I want to touch on something. Heavy was talking about how he had looked at this career back in 2017 and he didn't have the credentials that they were looking for.
Right.
And what was really interesting was a couple weeks back, I saw an article where Usher was speaking at a commencement,
Hmm.
and he was reminding people that your degrees still matter. Like they're still important. Like don't let people tell you you don't need that paper. And I know a lot of people be like, well, trade school and different things, and people make good money doing the trades. But I think people need to remember, like sometimes your degree simply get you to sit at the table to really impress them and let you show up how you need to be. So I just like to speak about that because I know like a lot of young kids are like, I don't want to go to college, or when we were growing up, it was college or military.
Yeah,
Um,
you did
but I
both.
think a lot of people, I've had jobs that say, hey, we'll pay for school, and so I'm like, why not get these degrees? Um, but I think with just the way that the job market's evolving, because Heavy was talking about AI, and I had him laughing. I was like, I write the grocery list with AI if you let me. Most days I actually do,
Come on.
but like I'm actually back in school because my good old job pays for me to get a degree in anything I want, and I'm a firm believer. If you're gonna pay for it, you're gonna pay for your backup plan just in case the world gets a little crazy.
Right.
My backup plan is healthcare because I've worked there before. So I think it's just really important to touch on, the job market's evolving. Like the government has gone through what it's
Rapidly.
gone through,
Rapidly.
and with more people than jobs, you always want to make sure you put yourself in a position to where you can get to the table.
And
Now,
that and
I,
that go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, now I was just gonna say, Heavy's in his late 30s. I'm in my early 40s, and unfortunately, you sometimes have that situation where you get judged not by what's on your resume and what you present. Sometimes your age can play a difference. So I'm blessed that I look like I can still be 35, so it helps out here and
You look
there.
like you can be
Um,
26. You got a real young face. Jesus Christ.
you know,
Jesus.
people still ID my mama. So what can I say?
Yeah.
Um, but I just wanted to touch on that because I think in today's world, people just kind of need to keep in mindset like, yeah, having a trade is a really great thing, but having that degree can really really give you a little bit more power and value in what you're trying to
But
do.
I think and I'm gonna play white devil's
Devil's
advocate.
advocate.
I'm gonna say that the degrees don't hold the same weight as they used to, largely in part because and my lady and I we talk about this all the time. Once black people started getting access to higher education at a higher clip than everybody else, it devalued it. Because if you take my degree, um, I graduate with a degree in mass media communications and production in 1989. Then I get access to the job at the radio station. I get access to jobs at the news station. I get access to doing things that are closely tied into my field of choice. But the problem is once everybody started having degrees and they started saying, well, instead of going to a school, you can just go to degrees online and you can do it in your own time. It literally diminished the whole makeup of what it means to have a degree. And it was like, well, now instead of having a bachelor's degree, it's like having a high school GED back in the 80s. I'm like, well, motherfucker, god damn, are you serious? Yeah, the new thing is you have to have a master's. Yeah, here's the downside to that. I saw a job because I was looking up something, and a friend of mine, she was just like stressed out because she was looking for a job and she's like she can't find anything that paid decent. I was like, nah, I can't be that bad. You got a master's. She was like, look online and tell me what you see. They was
It's
asking for
horrible.
somebody to have a master's degree, 4 years of experience for a state job that was paying $40,000. I said, how the fuck your
Because you gotta
master's by itself costs more than that?
But you got to think though, with the influx of people who are looking for jobs, I can get somebody who has a bachelor's degree, been doing the job for literally 20 years, and they are in a crunch. I simply need to replace income, and I'll take that $40,000 and make it work.
Yeah, you can. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that from the idea of promoting degrees to the degree of where it used to be from yesteryear is the dream is the dream of that is dead. I have a daughter right now, and my thoughts and views is I would love for her to look at college as a means of doing her wanting to go if it's tied to she wants to be a doctor, she wants to be a lawyer, she wants to be an accountant, she wants to be an engineer, whatever. But if she wants to be like an art major, fuck school. Yo, go look at the museums and get a real life experience of what it means to be on that, because by the time it gets to that place, we don't know what's going to be taking place of some other job that could be in place of that person. Because if you're talking about AI right now, we're about like what, 5, 10 years from having AI robots that can give the tour of the museum. So
I
whereas
mean,
you
that's
got an
true, and
art major
they
that, art
they kind
major
of already got that.
that's but it's going to be perfected to the point where they can talk and response and have active questions going back and forth. So the art major that loves and appreciates the value of art and just being in the certain areas and the certain things, well, why would I pay this person to do that when I can just, because everything in America is going to be about capitalism and how do you capitalize on getting the most bang for your buck by hiring the least amount of people. So if you're not working in a job that is a trade, like if you're not looking at plumber, electrician, carpenter, a builder, if you're not looking in policing, fire department, EMS, doctor, nurse, if you're not looking in a job where you have to deal in customer service and people, you're actually going to fall into the realm of doing a job that a computer can do for you. I hear people talk all the time now. It's like, yo, they're pressing me to use Gemini at work. They're pressing me to use Copilot at work. They're pressing me to use DeepSeek. They're pressing me to use, like, so what's wrong with that? Bro, I do code for a living. Why would I ask a computer to do the code? So what takes me a week to do, the computer can do in what, a matter of 5 minutes? I'm literally teaching it how to take my job. You see what I'm saying? That's data analysts, it's data scientists. You can teach a computer how to do your job because all it's doing is, if it's AI, it's learning. So you put the code in the first time, I got that. Put it in again, I got that. Okay, we just doing this tweak, I'm fixing that, I'm doing. Eventually, when you put it in, it's like, well, he's the company will have you think, oh, well, he's putting code in so fast and so frequent, like, it's cutting his time in half and he has more availability, da da da. And in the back of their mind is, we can't wait to fire this motherfucker. All we need now is a guy that makes sure that the code is right, and we don't need the writer anymore. We don't need him. So all of these jobs that everybody that is fighting to have, unless, like, prime example, teachers are so necessary and needed. So necessary and needed. The problem is they work in school districts and they work in a country that just puts education on the back burner for
On the back
everything.
burner.
So it's like, unless you go to a private school, you're at the
You ain't
mercy
making
of
no
just
money.
learning. Oh, okay. So what are we gonna learn today? We're gonna learn about Jesus. Wait, what? That's social studies? Jesus? What about math? Jesus turned 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and fed 5,000. So everything's just gonna be Jesus. That's all we, because the point is to not make you smart enough to know that this is bullshit. The point is to not make you aware enough to know that you're literally fighting against people that want to keep you so uninformed and so unaware that you don't know that you're getting finessed out of your best times of your life, which is why I love the next generation. These motherfucking Gen Z and Generation
OMG.
Alpha, them motherfuckers is like, you, I want to do this
Don't
job. Oh,
give
yeah.
two fucks.
Yo, we want you to work this job for 80 hours a week and we're going to pay you that. Bitch, I'm not doing that. Well, you'll never live on your own. That's fine. Stay at my parents'
My,
house.
my parents let me
I'm
listen.
gonna catch this bride to Cancun any goddamn way. They ain't worried about the shit. They ain't thinking twice about it. I got people that work 100-hour weeks and they grind and they grind, and yo, they got everything that their heart can desire. All of that. And that's amazing. That's great. I love it for them. Me personally, I seen what 100 hours a week can get me financially, but I seen what it cost me physically. It cost me, like, there's nothing more gut wrenching than, I remember one time I was working like crazy hours because I needed the overtime because Christmas was coming. And I was like working and working, picking up shifts for other people, doing all of this shit. And I came home one day and I realized that I hadn't really seen my daughter in like 3 days because I just kept missing her. I would be asleep, or she would be asleep, and I'm in at 9. I'm out the door at 3 in the morning. I'm gone, and then when I come home at 12, she's in daycare. I'm sleeping from 1 until about 5. Then it's time to go get her. Then once I go get her, I got to get her to the house. Got to get her situated. So I don't really have time for it. My daughter said, "Okay, that's fine." And she said like a complete sentence. Like when she started
When that
talking like
happens,
that, about a couple of days ago, I missed that. See that right there for me. That did it for me. There was no amount of there's no amount of I got to work and grind to get everything, and I missed that moment. That shit hurt. That shit felt like a punch in the goddamn throat by Mike Tyson in his heyday. That shit was unfucking real. And in that moment, when you realize that these stories coming out about the young lady that worked at Wells Fargo that died at her desk and nobody
and they didn't
noticed,
realize
nobody noticed. She died. She stayed there all weekend. You
because
seen
it was
Carol? No.
the security guard who realized that he hadn't seen her like come and go. So I mean, and I get that, but like here's kind of how I look at it. Like you know me, I'm a habitual degree seeker.
Go
One
ahead.
thing that always helps me, one first of all, I use the letters behind my name all the time, like that MBA, that CPHC certified pharmacy tech. I throw all them letters behind my name. Like don't
Yeah.
play.
As
I
you
earn them
should.
bad boys.
As you should.
So what I often tell people is sometimes I'll go in and like I'm looking at a job and I'm like, ooh, like I qualify, but I qualify at like, let's talk GS because I'm government, you understand government. So
Yeah.
like it says it's from GS9 to GS12. So when I go to apply, I'm like, all right, cool. So like I know I can do this GS at a GS9, but I don't like the way that money looks. So I'm about to tell them I got a GS 10 to well actually really 11 to 12 because I got my background in the education field I needed for that position.
Hmm.
So now I just simply go tweak with the help of AI, the thing that people seem to not really like.
The
I
devil.
basically tweak my resume
The
with
Antichrist.
AI from the job description
Yeah.
to make it fit. Because here's the thing, because of course they use computer systems to figure out who gets a seat at the interview table and who don't. I just simply want my resume to get me the interview.
Mhm.
The rest of it, I got. Because do mind you, when you met me, I was working radio. My background isn't radio. I don't have a degree in communications at all. My background is literally business,
Yeah.
healthcare,
Yeah.
HR. Those are my three backgrounds.
Oh man, you good money.
So so like with me having those backgrounds, because I can apply for an HR position in basically any company. And yeah, I might apply at a law firm. I don't have a law degree, but I understand how to run your business.
Right.
I understand how to keep you out of HR chaos.
But do you
So it's
but do you think those jobs are still looking for people like you? Because again, you're talking to somebody, and I say this with all due respect. You're talking to somebody that literally has been outside looking at jobs, right? I saw jobs where I had the qualifications for. And because I had the qualifications and I saw the money, and I'm like, well, the money's relatively decent. I got the qualifications. Here's what they posting that, da da da, so on and so forth. But you also got to take into account that it's still a boy. It's still a what you call it when you get somebody like in the family nepotism.
yeah,
Nepotism's still real. And on
very
top
true.
of that, you can get a job where you're more qualified than the person that's interviewing you.
That's
So
true.
for me, it's I'm of that ideal of when I see that, I remember putting in for it. It's like, yo, you have to have a degree in communications, and you have to do this, you have to have this. I checked every box and then added some. And I told a friend of mine that worked at the location, said, yo, tell your people I put it in. I'm overqualified for this motherfucker. Like I got everything that they need, they're looking for. About 2 weeks go by. My friend hit me back and she was like, "Yeah, I think they're gonna go with this girl because she knows the manager on the third floor." It's like, but did she know how to do the job? Like, no. don't have no qualifications, don't have nothing, don't have this, don't have that. The bitch can barely read. I was like, ah, damn. A month and a half later, yo, I'm getting all of her work. She fucking up, but because she cool with management, I got to deal with the shit. And I'm like, see, this is the shit that I'm talking about. When I say I like jobs that got structure, you got to have some know-how, bro. I don't give a fuck who you know. I work in career fields where the danger will separate you from the shit. You ain't gonna just be smiling in somebody's face when they're trying to pull a pistol out and shoot you in yours. I don't care who you know. Your daddy can be the goddamn chief of police. You either got what it takes to survive out here or you don't. And from what I've seen, corporate America, the motherfuckers that sit behind computers and wear suits and smile and shake hands and oh yes, everything's great and it's all perfect and it's all good and it's all bubbly and da 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 da. Them is the worst motherfuckers to be around. Worst motherfuckers to work for. Worst motherfuckers to have breathing over your shoulder. They quick to pass the buck. They quick to tell you, oh yeah, we had this set up. Yeah, you know, if you here's what you do, here's what you do, here's what you do, and you do everything exactly. Then it was, oh well, you must have didn't understand me. No, I understood you. I did exactly. Well, can you show me the email? I can't because you came in my office and you had the conversation. When I start having to look at like I gotta record people so I don't get fucked over in the end because motherfuckers are lie to keep their job because they'll be so ass at it. They'll be like, yeah, I mean, I guess you didn't understand, but they got more time at the company. They're less likely to fire them. So they look at you like, well, you didn't get it. But see, I'm just so like locked into who the fuck I am. I'm gonna tell them, no, I got it. Here's what the motherfucker said. Well, he didn't say that. So you either calling me a liar or him a liar. I do a lot of things, but lying ain't on the list. I ain't never lied about. I ain't never lied about shit since I've been here. I ain't gonna start now. Well, it just might have been miscommunication. Cool. So we don't have that no more. Tell him to only contact me via email from now on. That way we got it in writing exactly what they said. And if he comes to my office talking that rah rah shit, I'm gonna say, excuse me, Dale, can you please revert back to your computer and have this conversation with me in writing? I don't want to miss anything. Now you see it's combative. Now you're the person that's hard to work with. All of these other goofy little trigger words that motherfuckers use to pad your HR file so they can get you the fuck up out of there whenever they feel like it, whenever it's convenient. So when
And you know what? Maybe it's my background, or maybe I don't know. Like, cause what's funny to me is like hearing you describe that. Cause I'm the recap queen. So like, if you come in my office with your bullshit, I'm recapping you. So
in
heavy
words
based.
or verbally, because if you do it verbally, it
No,
don't matter.
you, you get in the email.
Oh, okay,
So
per
based off of
per
our
our
former
previous
conversation,
conversation, yeah,
yo,
per our previous conversation.
listen, my boss had to give me, she was like, can you not do that? I'm like, what? She was like, you basically are more or less in black vocabulary telling them to fuck off. And I'm like, well, that's really what I'm saying. She'd be like, okay, let's show it the previous conversation. But I will say like kind of what you're describing, like people find it weird. The current job I'm on, when I first started with this company, um, I had, I mean, you know where I work at, so places in Charleston, like we knew like the head of the company
Yeah,
who
yeah,
ran
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
particular area. Like I had people fussing at me because when I did apply, because I was living in Virginia, I made nobody who could have made a phone call to make my life easier. I made no phone calls. I firmly believe that when I get jobs, I don't use my friend in my network. Now, once I'm in that job and I'm trying to get promoted, then yes, my network and my friends do sometimes place their hands to help me get a little something or get noticed. Um, but I tell everybody, like, I smoke cigars. I actually picked up that habit, cigars and cognac, um, just simply
Amazing
because I
habit.
quickly learned, huh?
Amazing habit.
Amazing habit. But I quickly realized that by being able to speak about a good gar, being able to speak about good whiskey or good cognac or good bourbon, that put me at tables that other women couldn't sit at because they didn't do these things. So I've knocked out a whole gender. Now I'm playing with just the boys. So I learned how to play golf. Not every
Mm,
male plays golf.
yeah,
Now, not to be funny, black males are starting to get into that area,
yeah.
but for a very long time, that wasn't a black male, thing.
Mm.
Tiger came along and made it a little bit more popular,
Fuck Tiger.
but
Tiger, Tiger is only black in color. That motherfucker ain't shit else about him black. Fuck Tiger.
But basically, because I knew how to play golf, I knew how to talk that knowledge, that put me at another table. People find it weird. I enjoy hockey. Like I
Nah,
basically
yo, the Stingray games, nigga, that's what got me hooked. I'm like, wait, so these motherfuckers can
listen,
fight? But I only like hockey at
because
at
they
the
can fight.
stadium. That's the only reason I can't watch it on TV. I gotta physically
No, I
be in the
gotta be
building.
there.
I gotta physically be in the building and feel that motherfucker being looking at that motherfucker like, yo, get over here! God damn it, I'm gonna fuck you up. And they just be going. I'm like, they gonna fight. They just let them fight. Yeah, once they touch the ground, then they gotta stop. I'm like, I'm
That's
seeing
it.
people throw haymakers. Oh, this shit is
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Listen,
Amazing.
between that and soccer, the two most aggressive games played, both here in America and in England. But I basically started putting myself in positions that normal people wouldn't find a female in, or normal people wouldn't find a black female in. So,
Yeah.
it's nothing for, like, people find it funny. I have literally said for my 45th birthday, it's a little before it, but I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. I love
Ooh.
horse racing. I'm not a
Ooh.
gambler, but I love horse racing because now that I've been learning about it, I've been opening doors that weren't there before because I can talk the verbiage, I can talk the language, I understand it.
Yeah.
I can basically speak something that opens new doors for me. So I definitely get when you're coming from when you're talking about how nepotism is very real because my brother's sister works here. But oftentimes for me, a lot of times, because even if I'm hiring my brother's sister, I still got to have a decent candidate pool that makes sense if I ever should get a lawsuit about unfair hiring practices.
Right.
So for me, your brother's sister can be sucking his dick. But one thing about it is, I'm definitely going to sit at the table. And even though you may be sucking somebody's dick on the third floor and you may think you got this in the shoot, I'm gonna now give them something to think about.
Mm. Okay.
And then one thing about me is I love negotiating a salary because what you're not gonna do is pay me chump change and think I'm gonna take it because unfortunately I am on my way to my second master's degree. You about to pay me, even though I am going to school, college free. I don't have any education debt, but you about to pay me for my time and my hard earned sweat
See,
because I didn't just earn them MBAs and that BS behind that degree for nothing. So, I don't have a problem telling a interviewer like, hey, I'm liking what you're offering. Can we talk this salary? You may not give it to me in money, but I'm gonna need you to give me a little bit more better of a healthcare benefit. I'm gonna
yeah.
need you to give me some perks, give me a little bit more PTO. Like you gotta make it worth my while because I can always hustle on the side and make up the difference in the salary.
Mm.
So I think it's just how you look at it. Like for me, my network is very far and free between. I tell my boss all the time, you can fuck around and get told fuck you in this job and everything else in between. Within 24 hours, I got a job.
And see, that's
I can
kind of
find me
wrong.
one.
But that going back to your previous statement, that a large that part largely ties into for me. That's what trades do. So like having a CDL is a trade. Like having a welder's license, trade. Plumber, trade. Electrician, trade. I was watching these motherfuckers. If I man, listen, I saw because I be watching this salary transparency thing on IG, and I've seen these people called journeymen, and apparently journeyman is like, the electrician role. And I'm seeing these run of the mill people look basic, like the heavy set lesbian with the
Like
flannel jacket,
got hella
just looking
cash.
just looking regular. And it was like, yes, what do you do? I was, I'm a journeyman, da da da. Like, when I started my program with the electrician, I was doing about like $25 an hour. Well, how much you make now? I make about 98. And I'm
Hmm.
still on my way to get to the next level to where I can get like about 150. I'm like, God damn,
But
$150 an hour.
here's the thing
Jesus
I want you to
Christ.
think about though, right? So like you have your CDL, right?
Right.
So I don't have a CDL, don't want a CDL, barely like driving more than 4 hours nowadays.
Yeah, it
But here's
sucks.
where I want you to think about though, right? So you may have a CDL. I've got a business degree. So let's like we were talking about that earlier about how I was like, yo, I'm thinking about in the next couple of years opening a dispatch company. So at this point, if I got all these drivers who don't really want to go through the rigmarole of the business side of things, the technical side of things, the legal side of things, and I'm willing to handle it, I got operators. I got operators who are literally their own bosses. I drop a load, you take it, you don't take it. If you don't take it, somebody else gonna take it.
Right.
So I'm literally making money off of spending that time going to school to get the business degree. Not a bit, nothing in the background of CDL dispatch, anything like that, but I've got the business mindset to where now, you took the time to go to school and get the trade take, or not go to school, but get your trade or whatever. I'm now making money off of that trade situation. Whereas if I had a CDL and I had the business degree and I was doing dispatch plus driving, and then I also have drivers who are driving for me. You see what I mean? I can hire somebody to run dispatch, pay them about $20 an hour, run my truck myself, still have five drivers. I'm double dipping now.
True. And I all that well and good. The the people that is of this ilk nowadays, because seeing what it is in the industry, um, and this is what's funny. Trump getting so many people like mass deported is
Oh,
ultimately going to
geez.
fuck with the bottom line of the hierarchy of trucking, because you got the broker, you have the dispatcher, then that goes to the owner operator, and if they have drivers, then it goes to them. So I mean, they're trying to get the most amount of money for the least
Perfect.
amount of effort and work. So the broker's like,
Definitely.
yo, I got a package going from Miami to Jacksonville. It's paying $2,000 for 800 miles. You trying to take it? And motherfuckers like, hell no, that shit ain't paying. The fuel alone is going to take me to get it. It's going to take me like damn near $800 to get me there,
But you know
and
what?
then it's going
If
to be
I'm
the
your broker and I'm your dispatcher, I'm kind of smart about this. Hey, so I'll take care of your fuel.
sounds
I know how
good.
to negotiate.
That
So
listen, that sounds good. Here's why that won't work. Because when you say you'll take care of their fuel, a trucker will hear that, and then a trucker will double dip. So whereas the fuel might have been the 800 miles, and you thinking, well, they might pick up more loads on the way, because if you covering the fuel, then technically that's their most expensive part
part
of
of
the
the
trip.
deal.
So this ain't what shit. She gonna cover the fuel if it's gonna cost. If in theory, based on where the fuel price is in Miami and what it would be in Tampa and Orlando and going
I'm
up
gonna
and
pay
thing
a
like
little
that.
more.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can grab this load here, because again, if fuel is paid for, that's more money back in your pocket. But you gotta keep in mind the broker's offering a deal of 2 grand when the broker was paid 10 to set it up and just find somebody to do it.
There you go. But if I'm the broker and the actual dispatcher, I don't got a middleman. It's just me. It's me. It's me basically being the broker. They don't even know I'm the broker. They just see me as a dispatcher. So if I'm removing that middle piece and it's basically the broker dealing with the driver, I'll be honest, that's going to keep a driver loyal to me because I'm like, hey, I'll cover the fuel. And I'm not really questioning whether you're picking up other loads or anything like that. You're going to always come back to me for more trips.
I'm gonna tell you something. Take my advice from somebody that actually works in trucking. There is no such thing as a
Oh, I'm
loyal
quite
trucker.
sure. I mean,
The
I'm quite
loyal
sure.
truckers are between the ages of 55 and 70. Anybody under 55, they've seen enough bullshit. Prime example, I know a guy that was with a company for 22 years, and he was coming up on his fourth big pay, because every 4 years they
You
do
get a bigger
like
pay.
this mass thing where it's like, no, it's every 5 years. They do this mass payoff where if you got clean record, no accidents, no issues, they'll give you 10 grand.
You get your bonus.
Yeah. So he's coming up on he did it for 20, no, it's 25 years. So he's coming up with his fifth one.
They
And
cut
he's
them loose.
gotten it. He's gotten it every time. He's
Okay.
gotten it. He's got the 10,000 every time. So he was like, yo, when I get the 10,000 this time, I'm gonna just take that. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna be out of here. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up. Because he's been with them for 25 years. He makes well into like, mid range six figures, and the 10 grand every 5 years ain't hurting shit. On top of the 1,200 that he gets every quarter. Like the company throws money at truckers, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he's about to max out. But somebody that gave you 25 years, you think like, if they gave you 25 years accidents free, no issues, no crashes, no nothing, he had a stop where he literally tapped the wall. Tapped it. I'm talking about like me plucking you in your forehead tap. It might sting, but it's not gonna bruise like you got a black eye. Tap the wall. The wall was unstable. The wall was unstable. Whole wall fell down. Nobody was hurt. It was after hours. No issue. Coming. Yeah, we can take care of it. Da da da. We just have you come in, take a da 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 da, so on and so forth. They have him come in. He said, "Well, because of this, you forfeit the 10 grand. You forfeit the quarterly bonus, and we're gonna have to look at suspending you for like a day or two." And he was like, "But I didn't. I tapped the wall. Like the situation was like, well, it's just." He's like, "All right." So after going back and forth for like 10 minutes, he's like, "All right, whatever." The new management, the guy that just came in a month before, that didn't know about his 25 years, nor did he give a fuck. He's all about the bottom line. He was like, "Nah, he did something. He close to retirement anyway. Fire him." Wait, what? We and everybody underneath him was like, "But nah, he's been with us. He's one of our oldest, most loyal, most valued." When you fire the guy that's been there for 25 years, the people that's been there for 10 and 20
They don't trust
and
it.
12 and 8 and 6, they looking at that like, well, if y'all can get rid of him, the fuck, what would y'all keep me around for? There is no loyalty in this profession. When I tell you, I've had about 3 or 4 trucking jobs, because all of them do dumb shit that just, no structure, no integrity, no nothing. Out of the 3 or 4 of them, one of them I quit. 2 of them I put in a 2 weeks notice, and no matter what, it never fails. Whenever you put a 2 weeks notice in trucking,
You get cut loose right then and there.
immediately. Hey, when you get back, go ahead and put them keys up over there, and we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. I said, "Well, no, I can finish out." No, no, no. We
We
accept
good.
your resignation made effective immediately. Period. Just
And
it
like I,
is. It is what it is. Ain't and no rhyme or reason, no nothing.
it's an
So
HR thing. It's a like people who put in a 2 week notice, they get a little reckless, even though in trucking that would be stupid because
that's
your
what
license is
that's what the
long.
guy told me. He said, "Mac, I'm gonna tell you, the reason why they do that is because if you're leaving, you can get careless with how you drive. You're not as
Hmm.
focused. You're not as worried about X, Y, Z. But my license is still tied to it. They're like, it don't matter.
Some people
It's
don't
not
think
worth
about
the
it.
risk.
Yeah,
That's why they
because
just
the
say,
liability of
yeah,
something happening, it's you, and even though people be like, it's just that driver's license, it's that driver responsibility. Unfortunately, we got people who like to file a lawsuit. They gonna hit you. They gonna hit the company. So it's a HR move that I totally understand. I don't always respect it depending on the situation, but I do understand it from the profession. So yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where I still say as young people, I always tell my young ones who work with me, weigh out the options. What's going to work best for you? For me, getting the degrees help because I've got this pyramid of education and things that I've
mhm,
done that I don't have an education in, that oftentimes helps me weave a story that makes my interviewer go like, damn, she got a lot that's there. So it sometimes gives me the edge over my peers or anybody else who's applying. But it
right,
doesn't always work that way for everybody. Like, my mom works at Burger King. She's been there for, hell, I'm 42, so she's been there 22 years. I joke
damn,
with everybody. I can literally tell this job, fuck you, fuck it, I'm done. Make a phone call. I know I can get me a management job at Burger King without a doubt. Did it for a couple of years. So it's one of those things where I think when people look at it, like I don't look at the job at Burger King as being less than me because a Burger King manager can make 6 figures. Yeah, they gonna work a lot of hours. They gonna bust their ass. But if you hit those quotas, you hit those numbers, you keep your budget, you gonna make your money. So I do think people have to look at it as what works best for me. And do I know how to play this field to where putting this 4 years in to get this bachelor's degree is going to make sense, or even the 2 years to get the associate degree, just to be able to say that I dedicated 2 years to get a degree while maybe holding a full-time job or whatever the case may be. So I think sometimes that's what people look at as just, you had the dedication to get this while doing this, and that really shows some perseverance. But like you said, you may have that plumber who their father was a plumber for so many years. I watched him do it. I was his apprentice. Coming out of high school, I'm making damn near $50 an hour. So why go to school when I'm already making the money and it's all good? So I think
Right.
it just depends on the person. And, if you can talk a good game and talk your way through an interview without the education, and they're looking for an education and you land the job, hell, more power to you.
I think me personally, the best experience that college provided me was making me culturally aware of how different my upbringing was in Charleston compared to everywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
So like when I
Leaving
went to
Charleston
oh God, yeah, that's the biggest thing I can say that college provides. Leaving your hometown or leaving where you
and
grew up at and
experience the world.
experiencing just other cultures and other meanings and other beings. So I think we've beat that horse to death in reference to that. She says education, I say get a trade. Want to get you to the money faster. If you want an education after you get the trade, at least you won't have to get the debt that comes with the education.
Well, I say either or. I mean, if you're gonna have a trade, just know how to play your game properly. I think you can go for a trade. Like my sister braids hair. She's went to school to be a CNA. I made sure that when she started her braiding business, she didn't need the degree. I had her back. So it
Yeah.
can be about who you know as well. So I think it's just how you play it.
Okay.
But listen, I got some question because you said you in law enforcement. I know the Mrs. Heavy is the legal side of things, but I got a question, right?
What up?
So I really haven't been paying attention to it, but when you're on social media, you catch everything. So first of all, like this whole situation for a mistrial, I mean, I'm quite sure you handle evidence in your law enforcement environment situations. Um, how easy is it to throw a mistrial for evidence or anything of that nature? I just want
Very.
that little bit of opinion from you.
Something as simple as fucking up chain of custody. Prime example. If I remember I arrested somebody, I got some dope off of them. Couple grams of crack. And I was tired. I was working night shift. I hadn't really slept well. Um and I went to the evidence log. Now, the evidence log was so fucking complicated for no reason. They had a book, but the book had pages missing on how to do it. Then when you did it right, it still would give you kickbacks and give you errors. And they say, if you got any questions, just ring the bell and somebody from the evidence thing will come help you out. And you ring the bell, but if it's 1 in the morning, it's 3 in the morning, it's 6 in the morning, them motherfuckers is probably back there knocked out, sleep. So I fill out everything. I thought I did it right. I go home, I pass out. Done. I wake up to 17 missed calls from my
Did you not
department.
hand the evidence off?
They said, no, I put everything in. I put it in the locker, locked it, did everything I was supposed to do. Um, they called me, they says, hey, is this Officer McLean? I said, yes. I was like, yeah, we need you to come into the evidence stand. Da, da, da. I said, like, come in like my next time that I work or come in now? I was like, no, you need to come in now. What? I had signed everywhere on the piece of paper. I mean, on the bag, except for one spot. For one spot, and that one spot that like my signature, I'd sign there, but I didn't sign across the line. You have to sign across the line. So if the seal is broken, it'll show that your
It'll
signature
show
is
it broke.
broken, and because they had to test it all to take out the warrant to make sure that it was, make sure that it was crack and all this other stuff. So I was like, but I signed that spot. I was like, yeah, but it's not deep enough on the line. I was like, you can't do that for me. I was like, no, we can't. Technically, we
You
have
asked
to.
somebody to forge your name.
Technically, we can't do nothing with this because it's not done right. It's this
Properly.
one line that was literally 2 centimeters longer, and it'd have been fine. So I had to leave my house in West Ashley, drive to Lockwood Boulevard, on
Oh
a
hell.
12 o'clock in the afternoon on a random fucking Saturday because I
Oh
needed my
Lord.
name to go. So you mishandle evidence. You mishandle evidence. You gather shit illegally. You got if you fruited a poisonous tree. If you get something illegally, anything you find after it, like if you pulled me over and said, "Well, I pulled you over for speeding," and I wasn't speeding, you can find a dead white woman in the trunk.
Everything is thrown out.
Everything after that is thrown out. So hey, it's just a dead bitch in the trunk. How'd you find her? Well, I found her because he was speeding. According to this, he was doing 44 and a 45. He wasn't speeding. Well, yeah, fruit of the poisonous tree. It's all out. But we know he killed her. That's not my fault. you fucked up. That's not on me. That's on you. So I mean, when it comes to that, yeah, you can get shit thrown out if anything is out of place because defense attorneys will pick at it and they'll question the integrity of the officer, they'll question the integrity of the department, and it's all because they're just doing their job. They're being good at their job. Why? Is this something to do with the Diddy case?
I was just wondering because they yelling mistrial, and I don't
Yeah, I
really
don't. I'm
follow that
not
area.
following it until the shit is over because I don't. I personally, I don't care enough. Respectfully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Somebody was just kind of asking me my opinion since I worked in radio, and I'm just kind of like, that was damn near 20 years ago. And I was like, back when I was in radio, we didn't really have this, people would get in trouble behind drugs or carrying a weapon, or, you have TI be on that fuck me, fuck you, this kind of shit. But I was
Yeah.
like, we didn't have these kind of issues. I think the worst we had was Left Eye and her
Old
boyfriend when
buddy
she
that
burnt the
burned down the
car.
house in Atlanta.
When she burnt the house down.
Yeah, the football player.
I think that was probably the roughest that we had was that shit like that. Like, but do mind you, we didn't have social media the way we had social media. So, just was kind of wanting your insight since,
Yeah.
you were more of the communication buff, and it's just not my thing.
Yeah, you
I
can
listen
get
to.
shit thrown out relatively easy. And so if you in law enforcement land, stay on your P's and Q's. If you're a defense attorney, look for the cracks because there's always cracks. There's always ways to find something that's fucked up because people just don't do their due diligence anymore. The gravity of the people that I was trained by, they're gone. When I got a home girl that was saying, yo, we got officers that's sergeants and they've only been here for 3 years. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? Sergeant's supposed to be
How
there
is
for at
that?
least because the older ones are retiring and people ain't staying long enough. Once you realize how much people suck, like people's like when you get a call from the police and you go there like, yeah, so you think somebody sent you a bomb in the mail? Yeah, it's from the Dodge dealership. Excuse me? Yeah, look at it. The flyer, it's a bomb. No, man, it's just advertisement. No, it's a
Advertisement.
bomb. And you that's shit like that is like a real call that you have to really talk to somebody with. That shit weighs on you, man. And
Yeah,
you realize like
I can
motherfuckers is
see why.
nuts. Motherfuckers is nuts, bro. I ain't got it. I don't got it. I don't got it. And I'm not
Yeah, I
mad that they
can.
don't. Cause
That's
niggas is
real. Cause
nuts, man. Oh
listen,
my God.
working in retail, like sometimes people be testing their britches, and I'm like, listen, I ain't the one.
Or
Like
the two,
pitting
or
people.
the three.
No, just don't try me. My employees be laughing at me because customers be on they indigent mode, and they be like, "Oh, Missy, come on," and they always crack the joke. Can we get your Charleston right quick? I'll be like, "Oh, here we go. Like, what they doing? Y'all want the
Yo.
whole Geechee to come out?"
So apparently, according to what I saw on TikTok, um, do you know that Charleston people talk like Bahamian people? But,
Yeah, you
yeah.
didn't know that.
A
So,
woman was talking on IG, and I'm like, she from Charleston. She was like, so let me find out that them people down in Charleston, those boys sound like us. I said, wait a
they're
minute.
Bohemian.
They
Hmm.
sound. They say we say we say Bucky, and they say Bunky. Like I'm like, are you shitting me? There
We're
is
very
like
close.
there's a dialect that is that close that like I can understand everything she was saying when she hit you with the I ain't even. I'm like, yeah,
That's
that's
Charleston.
Johnson. That little dry I ain't and he eat rice with everything. I never,
Come on
bruh.
now.
I
Rice and
motherfuckers looked at me
eggs.
weird when it was like, "Yo, what you finna do?" I'm finna make some egg rice. It's like, what?
Some egg rice. They
Egg
don't
rice.
understand.
So what is egg rice? It's rice and eggs. Why are you
Let me
eating
show you
eggs
right
for
quick.
breakfast? It's like, nigga, have you had it? It's delicious.
Like before
I
you
don't
judge,
know.
let me cook for you.
Exactly. Like, nigga, I don't know what to tell you. So I just found that like literally entertaining and very insightful. Like, yeah, that shit is crazy. We have
Well, it's
people.
really weird because like out here in Savannah, like I'm very close to Tybee. So when I hear people who speak, um, I guess theirs is more Gullah because I think they say we speak more Gullah Geechee in Charleston.
Yeah, it's
It
definitely
is
more Geechee. And Gala
always
is
funny because I'd be sitting, I was like, hold on, you from Haiti? And they're like, no, I'm from Tybee or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, your words just because we grew up in Savannah was the little Charleston, so I
yeah.
always was like, the vernacular should have been close to where my ears could pick it up. I'd be at work sometimes and I'm like, hold on, are we speaking French, Haitian Creole, or what language are we speaking? Because I'm trying to get the Google Translator on point so I can understand which. And when you hear it, because for us, when we hear our vernacular, our voices change. So I was talking to a lady today, and I said something, and she said, "Where you from? You from around here?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm from Charleston." She said, "Oh, I thought I heard that Ian," and that. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I got that." And I was like, "Where are you from?" She was like, "Edison Island." I said, "Oh, that's why you recognize all that." But it's interesting. I think because like Nolans, they speak patois, so always people always say like that sounds more of the Trinidad Jamaican area. So I think like each of the areas that speak that Peticios, they sound
I
very
thought
close
New
to just
Orleans
some of the
speak
areas.
Cajun. I'm sorry, not Cajun.
Well, it depends on where you are. Like
Creole.
if yeah, some people speak Creole, some people speak what they call patos, and I think patos is just a way to speak about dialect. So I may be misusing my words because English ain't my thing. Um,
Patois is
but I
the
think
Jamaican dialect.
yeah, so I think when people
Yeah.
talk about patacios, I think it talks about like just the different vernaculars and dialects and stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, I saw that and I thought it was absolutely lit, like absolutely amazing. So I was
Oh
all
yeah,
too happy for it. And shout out to our Bahama people on the island. Well, what's going on? Y'all boy good, everything love over there, you dig? Um
listen,
and it's
I gotta come home a little more often because sometimes I'd be like, hold on, what'd you say?
but
Be
listen,
like, listen.
when they say like people hit me over like you don't sound like you from Charles, I'm like, you gotta understand that that dialect, that way of speaking wasn't something to be proud of. You got white people like, yo, you gotta talk proper. You have to, enunciate, you have to do this. So me wanting to go further in life than just, mixing down at the Taco Bell with them boy, chilling, like saying, chilling on the corner with
Had
them,
to change
what I'm
it
saying?
up.
I had to switch it up and be like, I'm going off to do bigger and better things where people can understand me. Because if you speak Patois, you speak Patois, you from Jamaica, they know like, all right, he's from Jamaica. He speaks English. It's just different words that we got to translate. But if you like, yeah, I'm from Charleston, nigga, that's America. Talk right.
That's America.
What you
Talk
mean?
America. But you know what's
What you
crazy though?
mean?
Here's the thing I'm loving though. So I love that in this generation, you've got those people and those individuals in the Charleston area who are trying to make sure our vernacular, from the islands, from Edison, all that good stuff, stays strong and stays very real. So I
Yeah,
love that they're teaching that. I know I've seen it like in the public schools, like out on Johns Island, James Island, things like that. Um, so I definitely love the fact that it's being acknowledged, maybe not at a national level, but people are acknowledging it. Because I
right.
definitely would hate to see it totally disappear out of our
It's
culture.
not. It won't because
Come on, between Edison Island, Johns Island, and James Island, it ain't going nowhere.
it's not. First off, in order for it to go somewhere, the people that's of that ilk that's there, that is in that, because I know people like that's just how they talk. So you talk like they go on there and be like, so how do you feel you make a fit? I know I could be a good fit for him because when I be taking care of them churn, right? I be taking care of them churn, ain't he? And then when you do them like that, I be like straight, and I'm like, what is she? Is she? I don't know, but that's just
But
how
if
they
you're
talk.
applying for a job, if you're applying for a job in Charleston, they catch everything
But
you
yeah,
say.
but that only works in Charleston, so I don't think it'll
Charleston,
ever
definitely.
go anywhere per se. I don't see it. I don't see it.
As my friends tell me, they'd be like, "Oh, you code switch." I'm like, in the world I work in, I have to be able to code switch. I'm like, because otherwise, I won't get far.
I'm
Because
just relatable. It's not so much code switching. I know how to tailor to my audience. So the way I
I turn
talk to
it off
Brad
and I
at
turn it
work, I'm
on.
not talking to Craig at home. So I mean, it's just it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's fine.
And
I turn it off and turn it on.
we just, what's fucked up? We've been rambling for like an hour and 10 minutes, and really ain't
Are
said
you
shit.
serious?
Yeah, we really, hey, yo, like for the people who still listening, listen. This was the Welcome Back Pod. The wait is
Anything
over.
and everything.
We kind of catching up because I make sure that we don't talk as often when we're not podding, large in part because whatever we need to talk about, we can talk in the moment. And so it's real times and real conversations. So, but I promise you, next week we'll have an actual format. We'll have actual topics. We'll touch base on things that need to be touched on. We'll have some questions that people have been asking. We'll even have, if I can get it done properly, the white people business segment where we talk about things that's not black folks' business. But we're gonna do it from
We
that
make it our
standpoint.
business.
Yeah, yeah. Missy B, you got anything for the people before we get
But
out
no,
of
hold on,
here?
I got a really quick question.
What's up?
You see Kiki Wyatt pregnant again?
Kiki Wyatt. Don't she got like
Come on.
14 kids? I don't,
I
bro.
don't know that.
I don't keep up with this shit. I don't. Let me tell you,
I
I've
just,
been.
I just, I was on YouTube and somebody posted that video. I was like, she pregnant again?
Once somebody said that it is a fact that my first love with Kiki Wyatt and Avant was recorded. Kiki Wyatt was 16. That's all I. And then I heard a Kiki Wyatt like to stab people. That's all I needed from that. I don't allegedly. That's all I needed from Kiki. I'm like, I know
Allegedly.
she can sing, and I know that she used to be light skinned and now she's almost white. So I mean, that's my Kiki Wyatt review. I got nothing more for that. It's never been one that I really truly care about. So
I just like her. I like her music. Now, she is crazy, but I do like her music and her. She does have 11 kids. I think this is the 12th child.
yeah, she can have that. See, you gotta walk. You gotta know when to walk away from the pussy that be too good. You need, for me, for where I'm at in life, I need B minus C plus pussy. I need just above average or right at average, but I don't need the shit that's like, oh my God, bitch, let me sign my paycheck over to you. I don't need that kind of pussy in my life. Those days are over.
Are
They are
over.
long gone. Because if you had that kind
Oh,
of shit, you would never leave. You wouldn't be productive. You'd be at work like, bro, I just be putting the head in and I just be melting like butter. No, I ain't got time for that. I need some, this pussy sustains me kind of pussy. I need some, I can fold some clothes after I hit this kind of pussy. I don't need some, hey, I'm finna go to the bank and cash my check and give it to her. Why? Nigga, the way she fuck is just unreal. Nah, I'm cool. Y'all can keep that pussy to yourself.
you need
Respectfully.
just enough, but not a whole lot.
I need just enough. If pussy was weed, I need regular weed. I don't need moon rock. I don't need sour kush. I don't need Khalifa kush. I don't need
Why do you
um
know what all these things are?
I don't need death blow. I don't need sideways. I don't need none of that. I need regular strokes for a regular guy. That's where I'm at with it. But anything to the
Touche,
people, because
touche.
we're gonna
Um,
go ahead and
you know,
sign
it's
off
it's
here.
good to be back. I'm happy that we have gotten all the legalities, the technicalities, and all the good stuff out of
Technicalities,
the way.
legalities, yeah, all of that. And again, by this time next week, I'll have some more definites about the finalizing on the transition to the new thing. But again, it's not going to take away from the pod because we're going to be back, and eventually we might get the visuals going. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be official, so I'll let him cut
I
loose,
don't
cut
know.
loose too.
I just kind of like the audio. Like me personally, I think
Audio's
I
nice
like the
without the
I like the
visual.
audio. I'm not a I'm trying to disappear from social media. I'm looking up some things now where you can make like videos with AI puppets. So if I can make an AI puppet thing, instead of seeing my face, you just see a puppet of it, and then I can do that with
So how
yours.
you talk shit about AI, but here you are trying to enhance the podcast
Oh
right
no no no
now.
no 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 no! I talk shit about AI for the people that don't know that it's gonna replace them. Not me. I'm fine.
Okay,
Like
okay.
for all the things I've been police before. AI ain't taking that job. I drive trucks. There's like self driving trucks. That's cool. You still gotta
No,
have a motherfucker sitting in there in case the shit
to make
stops
sure
self
nothing
driving.
crazy go around.
Exactly, because that's gonna be a hell of a lawsuit. So I mean, my wide array of talent that can reach out to the masses and as far as different jobs at any time, I'm not worried about personally. So I'm cool.
And listen, like I feel they always gonna need an HR partner. So when necessary, I can put that HR hat back on. But I yeah, But it was good to talk. It was good to ramble. I'm quite sure people like, what the hell, Heavy and Missy. But you know, we kept it kosher, kept it real, kept it lively, and can't wait for what next week brings around. Because unfortunately, in this world, ain't no damn telling what can happen in
Oh
7 days.
yeah, and we gonna have a shit ton of shit to talk about. So, that's your girl Missy B. I am your host of the most. Is your boy Heavy Mack, and thank you for tuning in to the Heavy Thought Podcast. Just like Cut Crack, we are back, and thank y'all for being a part of it.
It's heavy, baby.
Peace.